everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Board Game Breakfast, and happy Labor Day to those of you who are in America, unless you're in retail, in which case you have to work anyway. But yeah, it's Labor Day, which means a lot of people have off, and actually some of the folks here at the Dice Tower have off. So if you're in the area for some reason or other and you're watching this, hey, we're doing a game day at the Cool Stuff store in Kendall. But that doesn't really affect you guys watching. The week's going to be just lots of videos like normal. But the Q&A that I normally do on Mondays, I will be moving to Tuesdays. So check out the Q&A at that point in time. Big thing though, tomorrow, Dice Tower West registration opens up. You can register at dicetowerwest.com. Go there to find out how to do it. Be ready to register. This is our first initial convention over in Las Vegas. We're very excited about this one, but I fully expect it to fill up. So if you're thinking about going, go and register. It's going to be just 4.5 great days of gaming, playing games 24 hours a day, just lots of fun. It's going to be fantastic. So make sure you check that out. All right, well, with that being said, I think it's now time to get to the news. Okay, so first of all, from Z-Man Games, they've announced the 9th expansion for Carcassonne. That's a lot of expansions. Hill and Sheep. Now, this one has actually already been announced, but I think from the original publisher, but Z-Man is going to be doing it, and I'm going to imagine it's coming out around Essen time. Renegade Games, in conjunction with Albino Dragons, has announced Ghostbusters, the card game. This is from Daryl and Erica. They've done a lot of games together and designs together. I hope this one's good. The Ghostbusters board game was not that fantastic. Renegade's a pretty solid company. Albino Dragon has not yet really wowed me yet with too much of what they've done, but we'll see. Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig was announced last week. Yes, you heard me right. Not a joke. I actually thought it was a joke when I first heard about it. It mixes Between Two Cities from Stonemaier Games with the Castles of Mad King Ludwig from Bezier Games. Now, it really is closer to Between Two Cities than it is to Castle of Mad King Ludwig. In fact, a short description of it would be Between Two Cities with more complex scoring. But hey, the good news is I'll be reviewing it this week so you can see more about it then. Tybor the Builder, a little card game that I reviewed that I really enjoyed, but I haven't heard almost anyone talking about, is coming from Lookout with the expansion. So that's exciting. I thought this game was a pretty neat little game where you're using cards for various things, which is the way a lot of games work these days. But that, yay. Days of Wonder. You know, people keep asking me, where's the Days of Wonder big game? Well, they've announced it. It's called The River. All right, so every year, Days of Wonder usually does one big game. This one, The River, it's a worker placement game where you're going to be exploring next to, well, a river. Looks nice, looks beautiful. All Days of Wonder games always do. We'll have to wait and see, though. The International Gamer Association, the IGA Award nominations were released this week, so you can go to their website and see the full list of nominations there. Now, realize as you go and look at these that their nominations go from July to July. They're also incredibly Eurogame-centric, so if you're looking for your favorite thematic games, they usually don't make these lists for that reason. So it caters to a very specific crowd, but there's a lot of good games on the list for sure. Tabletop Tycoon buys Victory Point Games. Now, that's actually just Game Salute. Keep that in mind. Game Salute has a lot of different names. So Victory Point Games is now part of the Game Salute family. Vampire the Masquerade, or Vampire, I guess it's called Heritage. This is a game that's coming out next year. I guess they're kickstarting it. They're going to be showing it off at Essen and then kickstarting it and then releasing it at Essen next year. This is a legacy game. It's kind of interesting to me how this one looks because you have these famous people throughout history who might turn into vampires. And as the game goes by, every card in this game comes sleeved and you'll just flip them. So this famous person might now be a vampire. It goes from 1306 to 1990. Like the tagline said, 30 to 40 minutes to play. Campaign, 600 years. What does that even mean? All right, anyway. Australia. With a Z there because this game is about zombies. This is from Martin Wallace. We've already talked about this one in the past, but it's coming now from Stronghold Games. Asmodee has released a new line of games, announced a new line of games called Fun Fast Games, which is like the most generic description there is. So that you get this confused with Quick Simple Fun Games or I guess Friedman Freeze here. They took his FFF. But anyway, Fun Fast Games. These are really simple type games. We got Bananagrams is in this line. We have very like short, simple games like Set. Things that, I mean, this line looks to me like it's the kind of line they're trying to get into Walmart. Really, that's what it looks like. So WizKids is releasing Quarriors, the Quultimate Quedition. Stupid name. But hey, what it does is it's like a big release that has everything that you've ever wanted from Quarriors. Hey, I think I have the Quarriors Quultimate Quedition up on my shelf here. But it also includes some promos and things like that. Which is interesting because if you already own everything like I do, then this is now good for you. But if you don't own everything, do you want to buy it all at once? Maybe Dice Masters fans will jump onto it. Games Workshop had a couple announcements at a convention. They announced Speed Freaks, which is basically a bunch of orcs driving bikes around. Looks like some sort of Car Wars thing. Except, of course, as with almost all their games, hey, you can use these models in actually Warhammer 40,000. Yay! Night Vault Season 2 of the Warhammer Underworlds has also been announced. This is confusing to me because it's a different name than Shadespire. See, we were calling Shadespire Warhammer Underworlds. No one called it that, they just called it Shadespire. This looks like it's compatible with Shadespire, has a whole bunch more factions, and so more stuff coming out for that. Sam was a huge fan of that game, so I would imagine you'll see us talking about it at some point or the other. All right, that's the news. Let's move on.
Happy breakfast, everybody. Crowdfunding's in a little bit of a weird lull right now. I think as people are recovering from Gen Con and getting ready for some of the other big conventions still yet to come in the year. But there's always a few projects definitely worth taking a look at, so let's get going. Starcadia Quest from CMON takes the gameplay of Arcadia Quest and blasts it out into space. Players control their hero crews to battle aliens, but also each other. The Supreme Commander Thorn is commanding its horde of evil aliens, and I gotta say, I kinda love the chibi-style alien design here. New to Starcadia Quest is the monster dashboard that allows monsters to deploy differently each game, which adds to the basic gameplay in which each one has a different quest and goal that you get to play through, and there's a campaign to journey through its unfolding branching story. The optional Armada expansion adds space pirates to the mix along with new adventures and mechanisms. You can get the base game of Starcadia Quest for $80 plus shipping, or you can get that plus the Armada expansion for $120 plus shipping. Rap Gods is a game of strategy and storytelling. You play an up-and-coming rap artist who's competing in different locations that have perks and disadvantages, and each player gets a unique persona to guide their direction too. You'll play cards to your career timeline to gain rap resources and to earn achievements. And you can play beef on other players for some player interaction. You get 3 albums worth of time to prove yourself, earn cred, and gain record sales plaques for the win. Rap Gods is a rare inclusion of hip-hop culture into board gaming, and the game is full of thematic touches. You can get a copy of Rap Gods for a pledge of $40 plus shipping. Pax Pamir 2nd Edition is Cole Worley's take on Phil Eklund's Pax Porfiriana. After researching the historical period, Cole has taken a twist on the setting and recentered the game around the concepts of sovereignty in a tumultuous time, subverting some games' empire-building tropes. A heavy strategy game, Pax Pamir will burn most players' brains, but mechanically it's fairly straightforward. Players buy cards from a market and then play them into their tableau for new armies, roads, and spies, and ultimately players are vying for dominance and influence. Along the general gameplay updates outlined in the campaign, Pax Pamir 2nd Edition also includes a variety of component updates and upgrades as well. A copy of Pax Pamir 2nd Edition takes a pledge of $60 plus shipping. Okay, that's all I've got for you this episode. Hopefully something caught your eye. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week.
This is a new segment. I'm going to call it Wargame in a Polybag. Why? Well, because this wargame comes in a polybag. So the first game we're going to do is Swamp Devils from Blood Bayou. I love the title. It's from Tiny Battle Publishing. Swamp Devils is for 2 players, solo-friendly, plays in 60 minutes, very low complexity. It's a cheesy 1950s B-movie. You're in the bayou somewhere, it's dark. There's a bunch of characters. There's the professor, Charlotte, the pretty girl, who's Professor's daughter, the sheriff, the scientist. And now you get the Swamp Devils. You get the Shapeshifter, the High Priest, the Nightmare. Battle is very easy. You put battle chits in a cup, You draw, you live, it dies. That's it. One of the ways to win in this game is that the professor, Charlotte, and the sheriff, our heroes, must go to a certain area and battle swamp devils, and if all of them die except the professor, he performs a ritual type thing and you win. Swamp Devils from Blood Bayou, a David Hewitt design published by Tiny Battle Publishing. The next game I have is Vikings, Scourge of the North. This game takes about 60 to 70 minutes to play. It's a solitaire game, very easy, and it's a game in a bag. In this game, you're in pursuit of gold, glory, and new land. Trade, you sail, you have a quest, and you pillage. So you start off by choosing a great expedition called a saga. Reading down from the card, you'll see a number 9 that tells you how many cards you're going to have in your deck. Basically, that's your timer. On the right side, that's your 10, that's how much money you have, you can buy stuff. Your objective tells you what you need to do and how many quests you have. The last thing, success, is reserved for the campaign game. What comes with this game is one 11 by 17 inch map, 40 die cut counters, 18 campaign cards, and one 8-page rulebook. Vikings, Scourge of the North is a game designed by Joseph Miranda, published by Decision Games. In their mini game series, they have a whole bunch of mini games, not expensive, great game. Thank you for watching, and if you want to know more about Wargame news, please check out my channel, No Enemies Here.
Alright, so what's coming from the Dice Tower this week? Well, Sam, me, and Z are going back in time 10 years ago and talking about the best games from 2008. Do we agree? Do we think it's a great year in gaming? You might be surprised at some of the opinions on that sort of thing. So that's coming out. I'll also be doing my top 10 card drafting games. There's going to be a look back. I do a video every Wednesday where I take a look at games from 1, 5, and 10 years ago. We'll also be doing crowd surfing where I take a look at Kickstarter. I'll be reviewing several games, including, I've already mentioned, the Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig, but I'll be taking a look at the new Prelude expansion for Terraforming Mars and several other games that me, Sam, and Z will all be looking at this week. So that's stuff that you could be looking forward to. Also, there's a new Dice Tower that's going to be coming out. Mandy and Suzanne will be producing that, coming out on Tuesday. And of course, a lot of fantastic podcasts. You know, you can go to DicetowerNetwork.com and look at all our podcasts. And you can just click on like the latest episodes link there, and you can see all these different podcasts that have been released recently. And so you can say, hey, I'll listen to the podcast that came out yesterday. Almost every day there's a podcast released, and they're all really fantastic. All right, time to move.
Bling! I love the bling! I love all the bling! Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so bright and shiny!
Hi! Welcome to the Mega Meeple. I'm Tom Grogan. Do you like to bling out your games? Be it nice and shiny, heavy metal coins, inserts, or updated meeples? Wooden tokens instead of that cardboard crap? Do you bling your games for function or just to make it look pretty? If there's some addition that you could give to your games that improves the gameplay or makes it more efficient to play, is it really considered bling? So what about you? Do you bling your games? Do you buy additional items or updated materials to make it easier to play? At what point does all that bling just kind of overshadow the game itself and turn it into something just pretty to look at rather than fun to play? Sound off in the comments section down below and let me know what you think. And if you want to reach out to me or follow me on any of my social media stuff, all the links and pertinent information is found on the Mega Meeple website. That's www.themegameeple.com. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, my name is Annette, and you may know me as Netters Plays. And today on Applied Mechanics, I'm going to go over the game of Gizmos. So this is an engine building game with some fun components and a ton of different combos. So let me show you a little bit about this game and why I really like it. On a player's turn, you'll be able to take one of 4 different actions. An action you can take is to file. You'll simply take any card from the display and put it next to your board. Another action is to pick. This is where you can take any one of the 6 marbles and just pick it off. Then you'll add that marble to your storage. At first you can only store up to 5 marbles. Another action would be to build. When you build, you can either build something that you've filed away or anything in display with the marbles you've collected. I can build this gizmo with 1 blue marble. It will give me 1 point, and it would allow me to store more marbles or archive more files. Based on this corner icon, when I build it, I can place it in that area. And finally, you can also research. You can do research by picking cards from the first, second, or third pile. You draw up however many you can research, then you can either build or archive one of these cards. Based on the gizmos that you've built, you can get special bonus actions. For example, whenever I file a gizmo, I'll be able to pick 1 gizmo, and I can also draw 1 random gizmo from the dispenser. When someone has built 16 gizmos or 4 level 3 gizmos, then the game is over. You add up your points, and the player with the most points wins. So as you can see, you have a ton of different marbles that you're collecting by picking or randomly drawing from a dispenser. You're exchanging those marbles in order to build these different gizmos. Whenever you build these gizmos, they'll give you a special bonus. And the great thing about that is that the bonuses are going to combo one another. You'll be building your engine, and at the end of the game, you're doing so much with only 1 turn. And that's why I really like gizmos. Well, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Hi, Mike DeLisio from Solomode Games. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about board game media consumption. I have been thinking about this lately because, as I think I've mentioned before, I'm a high school teacher, and one of the classes that I teach is sociology. In one of those units, we talk about social media, and I usually kick off that unit by asking the students, on average, how many hours a week they spend on social media. And I've certainly seen, as years have gone by, that the length of time that students say they are on social media has certainly increased. But it got me thinking about my own consumption of media, not necessarily social media. In my case, the media that I consume the most is board game media, and I assume I'm not alone in that. I would imagine that many people that are consuming this bit of board game media are also consumers of other board game media as well. And so it got me thinking, do I have maybe an unhealthy relationship with board game media? Do I watch it too much? I will say that there have been times that I've been considering playing a game and maybe got distracted by watching a video instead and thought, well, I'll just watch this playthrough, or I'll watch this video that is a review or a discussion of this game instead of actually playing it first. And I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. It hasn't completely kept me from playing games. I will say that on the positive end, there have been times, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this, where I'm maybe going through a little bit of a down period of not being as interested in playing games as often as I normally do. And I have found that oftentimes watching board game media gets me back into the excitement of it again, makes me want to break out that game when I see somebody talking excitedly about it or playing through a few turns. That kind of gets me interested again. And so I think that that can be certainly a positive. Now, overconsumption of anything is obviously potentially a problem. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on this. Generally speaking, how much board game media do you consume? Do you think there's a healthy amount or an unhealthy amount, or is that too simple of a way to think about this? If you can let me know in the comments below, I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.
Okay, folks, I thought I would start a new segment on Board Game Breakfast talking about promos. I don't think promos really deserve their own review, but I figured we could see a few promos every once in a while and take a look at these different promo cards that come for games or things. This is a little promo that comes for Reef. It comes in a little bag like this with a small little expansion here, and this adds fish. Now, these fish are the same material as the Reef itself. And at the beginning of the game, you're going to get 2 fish and put them next to your board. So here I have my 2 fish next to my board. Every time you take any move, whether you draw a card or play a card, you can move a fish on any edge space. So I can move a fish here, or I could move a fish even on top here. Once your fish is on top of a stack, it cannot, you cannot put anything on top of that stack. But you can keep moving the fish. So every time I play, I can move my fish like this. So if I play a card for the game, so let's say, for example, I play this card here, which scores 4 points for each green diagonal line. Hey, look, I have 2 green diagonal lines. That's going to get me 8 points. I get an extra point for each fish that's on part of that pattern. So, hey, this is going to actually score me 10 points. So how does this promo work? I don't know that I'd use it all the time. It's a little fiddly moving the fish around to remember to move the fish, but it's also not that complex. You just have these fish as they swim around your board. Occasionally they might get in your way, but it's not too bad because you have the opportunity when you play to move them off to another spot. They don't stack as well too. If you're not careful, as you can see, they fall off, but they still look pretty cool, and they add a little bit of a nice dynamic to this. So anyhow, that's a little fish expansion for the Reef, a little mini promo there. If you can find one, I'd get it. I'm keeping mine.
Happy breakfast, everybody. Now, bear with me because there is a board gaming link, but in the last week I've been captivated by the Dota 2 video game tournament, the International 8, or 2018. It was an absolutely amazing esports event where the winning team of 5 people won over $11 million. Now, it's a MOBA, which is a multiplayer online battle arena style game. Effectively puts 5 people up against another 5, all with unique heroes, and they're trying to do sort of tower pushing and hero killing along the way. Guards of Atlantis tries to replicate this sort of feel of games like Dota 2 or League of Legends or even Heroes of the Storm. Like with the video game equivalents, there are loads of heroes. You can have ones that are ranged, that have spells, that sort of jump in and do a mad dash and sort of berserker sort of charges. That's all there. All that logic is in the game. There's creeps where, you know, you kill the creep wave and it will push against the opponent's base. While the games are set up to last an hour long or half an hour long, where you get in constant progression. Unfortunately, in Guards of Atlantis, you hit that max level and then nothing else really happens. And if both of you hit it at the same time, it's just a backwards and forwards of spells. I'd be interested to know if there's other games out there that you feel there's an app or a game that just does it so much better than a board game equivalent, even if it's not an app of the actual board game, like the Carcassonne app for Carcassonne or something like that. If there's a game that's video gamed better than board gamed, if that makes sense. Let me know in the comment section below, and I'm Oliver East, signing out.
Well, if you're watching this on the date I released this, it is Labor Day, September 3rd, 2018. And a couple things. First of all, hey, it's my birthday on Saturday. That's exciting. I'm turning 42, so yay for that. Thanks for all the presents. No, I didn't get any presents, but yay. And I know that nerds always like, 42? What a great number. Sure. But more importantly to me is today is the 10th anniversary of my first video board game review. So that was the Merlin's Company expansion for Shadows over Camelot. So 10 years of video reviews. Now, there's a couple things. First of all, I'm glad that my video reviews are still online. I'm glad you can go back and watch, you know, the Shadows over Camelot and Sodbusters and a few other games that I did back then, because hopefully you can see that the quality of the videos has improved from then till now. So 10 years of video reviews, what have I learned in the process? Well, first of all, hopefully you can tell, we've learned how to make them better, how to continually improve technically to get better camera angles, to get higher quality cameras. Hopefully I've learned a little bit better speaking skills and able to clarify my positions on gamings, although you know, a lot of people will probably argue against that. So that's one thing. Secondly, though, I have never believed that the quality of the video is the most important part. Don't get me wrong, we are always striving to make the quality of our videos better. And we are doing that. In fact, we flipped the switch this past week, which you may not have noticed, but hopefully made our videos better quality. But that's important. We try to get good microphones. We try to have the high quality cameras and good lighting and all that stuff. But I really think it's important, if you're doing any sort of reviews, to have a passion. Now, I constantly get criticized from all angles on A, I'm way too positive. I like way too many games. And B, I don't like enough games. And especially I should have liked this game, and my opinion of it is extremely invalid. But it makes me glad to go back and look at the older reviews and to find out that that's been that way since the beginning. Just last week, there was yet another long thread on should reviewers be more critical, blah, 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 blah. And if you've been watching my reviews over the past several months, you'll see that I've been fairly critical against some big Kickstarters and other games, and people came in and told me how incorrect I am on my viewpoints on those. And then yet the same people go here and say Tom is too positive. I've never seen a negative review from Tom. So I've learned one thing in 10 years, is that part is never going to change. But I think it's important to be passionate. Sure, I can sit here and I can smile and I can give you kind of the PBS version of gaming. And you know what? I don't even have a problem with that. If someone wants to come on and be calm and only do positive review stuff, but I want to come on and be passionate about a game. I hate this game. I love this game. And ever since the beginning of me doing reviews, I have always meant that. You can amplify things being on camera, for sure. And in the end of the day, I'm not going to get in a huge argument. Like, I might love this game and be super excited about it, but if you hate it, I can get along with you. It's not like a college football team. And I might, hate this game and you love it, or I love it and you hate it. But I want to show these feelings. I love playing board games. I love talking to people. And so I have always wanted that to come through. And I think part of that shows as we go through these 10 years. Also in 10 years, I realized that, hey, me doing reviews is fun, but why not bring on alternate voices? So I brought on different reviewers. Some of them have come, and many of them have gone. But even if you look at our channel today, it's not just me. I mean, obviously there's Sam and Z doing a lot of reviews, video reviews too, but we also have a whole slew of other people putting out reviews. And I think it's important to get as many voices out there as possible. And in fact, I will post a video of someone loving a game that I just hated, or vice versa. And in fact, I really like when that happens, because it's not like that invalidates my opinion. Who cares? Opinions can't really be invalidated, but it gives you, the viewers, more to look at. Another thing that I started 10 years ago, and we will continue to do today, is we will review as many games as possible. We can't review everything. At this point, there's a tsunami of game releases. It's just not possible. But hopefully, if you come and say, I wonder if the Dice Tower has reviewed this game, hopefully we have. And I've always striven to constantly push myself to continue to have a stream of content for you all. Yeah, I think we've improved over 10 years. Some people say we have not, that we've gotten worse, and that's fair enough and stuff. But we made it 10 years. That's exciting. I hope to come back in 10 more years, in 2028, when I'll be turning 52. And at that point, I will have most of my children out of the house. I'll just have one or two left. And I'll be super poor because all my kids will have gone through college, making me broke. But, what a great time it is. Melody's at college, having a great time. My kids have started school. I go into another year. The Dice Tower is an amazing place to be and so many amazing people to work with, and I'm having a fantastic time. 10 years of reviewing. Thank you guys so much for watching them. Thank you for hopefully watching the ones in the future, and we'll be putting out more reviews this week. Our channel would not be where it is today because of you all. Now, that's something everybody says, right? You're like, oh, well, it's the you. But it really is the truth of the matter. I always talk about it's important to work with publishers. It's important to work with designers. It's important to network, to get these games so that you can review them, so that we can review them for you, and so that we have these connections and so that we can do a better job. But without an audience, none of that means anything. And I'm glad you guys stick around. I'm glad you comment and say, Tom, you're an idiot for your opinion here, or Tom, you are absolutely correct in your opinion here. Whatever it takes. I love it all. Keep watching. Let's keep moving.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Tantrum House After Party. We just finished playing Exodus Paris Nouveau. We're going to tell you what we loved, what we hated, who won, and how. right, so I always love the social climax of these types of games. At the very end, when you find out who the traitors were and who the guys that were on your team were, and you're like, we won, yeah!
I know, I totally didn't trust Kevin the entire time.
I was a faithful rescuer.
We were both rescuers
On the same team.
but you were so suspicious.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I actually don't really like social deduction games, but I am glad in this one I didn't have to do a whole lot of lying and trying to convince people that I'm telling the truth because I'm
Yeah, a lot of
terrible
social
at that.
deduction games you have to be like, you have
good
to
at
be with
lying.
me and all that kind of stuff. The only thing you might want to try and do is if you really want to be the leader or something like
Yeah.
that. Or the tail in Charlie.
Do some
Yeah,
convincing.
or say this is a good card when it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have played this game twice now, and both times I was a hunter, and the first time I lost, the first time I won, the second time I lost, and both times I felt like it didn't really matter what I did because I wasn't really influencing the game
But
so much.
I was a hunter last time and we won, and I was actively thwarting the good guys.
Oh.
I think sometimes this game does really matter, like if the majority are the rescuers and the minority are the hunters, like it does make the game harder. It really does
balance
shift the
changes,
balance quite
yeah.
a bit.
Yeah,
So who
and
won?
not me.
The rescuers won!
And how do we think that happened? I mean, do you think it is what you said? Did you feel like we just didn't have control? The losers didn't have control?
There was a majority.
There was
yeah.
a lack of control, especially in the last 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah, and
when the
Ryan
cards
and
came
I
out.
are probably the least aggressive people,
That's
so the
true.
two of us being the hunters probably didn't help.
Well, cool. If you guys enjoyed this, be sure to check out our actual playthrough on our YouTube channel, and then be sure to subscribe for more great videos coming from Tantrum House all the time.
Hello, I'm Lloyd. Then I'm 4. This is animal on animal. To the 4 players, age 4 to 99, from Hapa. I start with my animals.
Then you roll a dice.
One.
You get to pick the animal that I put on there.
The snake?
You want me to put the snake on there?
Yeah. Go to stack the animals. Ooh.
Do you think it's gonna fall?
This game is hard, but I like it. Roy abuse this game. That's all my animals.
Oh.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Let's play this game one more time.
Okay.
Everyone, I'm Jen, the board game librarian, flipping some pages and pushing some cubes with this week's segment, From the Page to the Table. This week we're going to look at a book which could really be a zombie book, but it's really more a survival book and the stories of the people who lived it, and that's World War Z by Max Brooks. I read this book before it came out as a motion picture starring Brad Pitt, and it was really a book that I was captured by the stories of the people. Each chapter tells a different story, a different experience that the survivors had. Sometimes really heartbreaking and really the struggle of the people too. All people from all across the world living this experience and surviving, making terrible choices and losing people that they loved too. It's not necessarily a book for everyone. It's really low on the zombie level for me too, and Max Brooks writes it in such a way that you would really think that it happened, the way he interviews people. Now, you're going to say to me, hey Jen, you're going to pair this with Dead of Winter, a Crossroads game, Isaac Vega, John Gilmore, Flat Hat Games, 2 to 5 players, 60 to 120 minutes. There is a comic book, of course. Yes, I do know that there is a comic book. I just haven't read it yet. So what I love about Dead of Winter is that it's about the people. It's really not a zombie game at all. It's really a survival game. Survival book, survival game. And it's these choices, again, that people are making. They're really sometimes quite terrible. You're learning a lot about your friends, who your friends are, the choices that they're making, and what they would do to survive, just like in World War Z. It's not necessarily a game for everyone either. I think without the Crossroads cards, the game wouldn't be quite as good, but the Crossroads cards really add that extra element. Always have to play with the trader. Without it, to me, it's not quite as good either. That's all for this week. Happy breakfast. See you later.
Welcome to The pitch. Is een jarig, hoera, hoera. Dat kun je wel zien, dat is hij. Dat vinden wij allen zo prettig, ja ja. En daarom zingen wij blij, 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 blij. Yes, it's Dave Luza's birthday. And what did he get this year? Let's find out.
No.
Do you like the form?
I like the shape, but I don't like the weight.
I forgot to mention that Dave can guess almost any game just by weighing it.
Well, this is empty.
You think?
But it's empty.
Is it though?
Impossible to pass. Whoa, does that mean I can pitch any game and you'll let me?
You can still pitch any game you want to, but I won't pass any game. This is not for buying games, this is for playing.
Oh.
No matter the time, no matter the place, I can tell you I'm super tired, I'm not into gaming tonight, but you can present one of these 4 handy passes, which are valid 1 year only, and I will have to play with you.
Even Gloomhaven and Gaia Project and...
No restrictions, any game. Oh boy, I'm in trouble.
Thank you so much!
You're very welcome. I love you.
Well, how did you get this box?
I bought it.
Where is it?
The contents? They're hidden in your room.
Yes, thank you so much. You're amazing.
You're welcome. So, gamer wives and husbands of the world, this is the present your loved one really wants. Yes, that too.
And this one.
And this one. You can just give them free to Game Pass. They will love it.
Impossible to pass on playing games. You're amazing.
Hey, it's Matthew here, and here's the thing, right? This is my copy of Frenzy, or Friend. No one really knows, apart from the population of Florence. Look, this is my Grail game. I hate calling it a Grail game because it's got no magical powers. Nope, just cardboard. But what it does have is a German cheat sheet, some German rules, a board, and German cards. So German. Frankly, getting a copy of this game in English was just not in my price range. But what you can get is all the stuff on Board Game Geek to mock up the cards. I bought some card sleeves, making the game 100% playable. Am I going to love the game more than any other game in the whole world? Who knows? But I'm very happy to have got it. And you know, it really isn't that hard to mock up a game that's in a foreign language. If it's only got a few cards and all that kind of stuff and you don't mind just having the hassle of doing all that work. So, with my English card text and a pair of scissors, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a great time playing this game after a little bit of crafting. I haven't got any glue. Do you know what? Just blow the whole thing.
And everybody who loves the Dice Tower. I got something I gotta get off my chest. Okay, Tom Vasel, you're wrong, brother. You always say, it's not about the games you play, it's about the people you play with, and it's all about having fun. Malarkey! Okay? I play board games to win. And I became the World Tabletop Federation Champion of the World by winning. And I'm the highest paid board game athlete there is. And I'm the highest paid board game athlete there ever will be because I always win. I've never lost a game and I never will. And I get that way because I win. I don't care about who I trample over to win. All I care about is winning. So Tom Vasel, you're wrong. when you say, it's about the people you play with. It ain't. It's all about winning. Now get you some of that!
Okay. Sure. Okay, well anyway, that's it for another Board Game Breakfast. Thanks so much for watching, folks. Don't forget, my live Q&A will be tomorrow. It's time to go play some games. I'm excited about that. It's time for another week. Hey, in a couple weeks, me and Z will be at Midgard, which is a convention in Iceland. So if you're in Iceland for whatever reason, we hope to see you there. And don't forget, Dice Tower West registration opens up tomorrow. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast on the Dice Tower. See you next time.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vasel and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production, sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., an amazing place to buy board games. Cool stuff in stock at CoolStuffInc.com.